Welcome back to another episode of Masterfully Integrated. I'm Janine Subak. I'm here with Amelie Schaefer. How's it going, Amelie?
Hi, I'm good.
We are Systematic Excellence Consulting, and we help businesses with their systems, their operations. We help them find team members or place team members to structure their business for growth, and we love that stuff. Most people don't, but we do, and it does great things for businesses. And here on Masterfully Integrated, every week we share tips and tricks and hacks to help business owners run their businesses more efficiently so they can have more free time for their lives. Yay!
Yes, we think that's super important.
It is important. Life is a journey. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to share a little, we get a lot of questions actually about, we have some different services, the difference between consulting and coaching, because they are different things, and there are a lot of misunderstandings about that. And if you are looking for assistance with your business, you want to be sure that you're looking for the right thing and understand what to expect from the people that provide those services.
And when to hire each one or engage with each one, and how to leverage that. Because I think even sometimes, and I don't want to be mean, but I feel there are times when I think people who call themselves coaches and consultants don't clearly define their role. I think people that advertise it, I think sometimes confuse what the two roles should be doing, because I think they need to be engaged at different times. So we'll talk about that. But
well, let's talk about it from the business owner's point of view then. So they need to be engaged at different times. And so what would you think is the most common situation that a business owner says, hey, I need help, I need something? What would you say that is?
Well, it would depend. So do they want I think where the line is drawn is, do they want someone to like direct them and give them I don't know exactly what the word is, but so the coaching is more supporting them, where the consultant is helping them find the problem and the solution. Does that, I guess, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I started this off on the wrong foot, and I should have gone more with definitions to start with.
Oh, so Sue Dennis is watching, so I just want to say hi to Sue. She said hello.
Oh, hey, Sue. How's it going? Yeah, so coaches are usually more focused on their role is more in development, whether it's the leader's development or the team's development or them together and their interactions, where a consultant is more like a hired gun, a hired expert in a certain subject matter for a one-off thing that they're going to help you with in your business, whether it's you, whether it's a project, whether it's a new vertical you're adding on or something along those lines. So their roles, so a coaching role is more ongoing. A consultant role can be over a period of time, but it's usually within a well-defined project.
And the coaching is development of, the skills, the development of, so like a coach that does sales, right, is going to focus on developing the sales team skills. If you're bringing a consultant in, now the consultant and the coach can be the same person. They come in initially to do the consult, where they do the kind of finding the problem, nailing it down, defining what the issue is, coming up with a solution, and then coaching them through or helping them develop in their skills in order to solve the problem, right? So I think that's kind of where that's how I would define it and draw the line. Like you said, the development. So professional development, something that we've done with clients is that CEO development, right? The executive coaching, where we're helping them learn their new role as a CEO, because once we move them out of being the operations person and managing all the pieces, there's a whole nother role that they need to fill that might be new to them. And so coaching them and doing that is helping them develop their skills in that. Okay, what do they need to focus on? What do they need to be doing every day versus
they're both leadership roles, but they're very different. They feel really different to the business owner because they were usually head of operations, doing all the things, well aware of all the details, and probably more too much so, and making that transition to CEO. It's like it's still a leadership role. It's still understanding everything that's going on, but how your actual responsibilities and how you go about doing that is really different. And we've helped quite a few people with that. So what you were starting to touch on in the beginning was for coaching. So yeah, there, of course, sports, right, is a good analogy for coaching, but there are different styles of coaching. And so when you're looking for a coach, whether it's for yourself or for you and your team, or just for your team, there are different styles. There's very autocratic, where they just come in, they're here, you know, the sports analogy, here are the plays, here's how you're going to run them, do it. And then they help you with accountability for that. There's more, and that gets that gets results faster, but there's ups and downsides to everything. So that's why you really want to make sure you're getting what you need for the situation that you're in. It gets results faster, but it really doesn't allow for personal growth of the team or professional development in terms of stepping into roles and being able to do what that coach just did the next time around, as far as speaking up, providing solutions to problems when your team members are the one that are closest to the problem, and developing the plan and implementing it. So you have to, there may be issues with buy-in. They just feel like they're being dictated to, or sometimes, the flip side is they're just relieved and they just want to get it done. So it's not good or bad. It's just very dependent on the people and the problem that's going on at the time. So there's autocratic, democratic. I wrote these down. The coach kind of steps. They're providing oversight. They're watching what the team is doing. They're stepping in as needed, but they're more guiding and pointing them in rather than telling. So there's that. Holistic. This is more getting into the business and life balance and development kind of thing. They're looking more at the team and the company as all the parts of the whole. And apply their guidance and support more holistically. And that and the democratic ones are kind of similar. It takes longer to get to the same result than autocratic, but but your team and yourself are developing into that role. So you can end up with a more solid skill set within the team at the end of what you're doing there. So that was coaching styles. What would you say about those coaching styles, Amelie?
Well, I was thinking that for us, we do more of the, I think the holistic, and what was the title of the second one?
There's holistic, there's democratic.
Yeah, the democratic. I feel like that's the one, because when we do the consulting, so the way that our process works is we do the consulting on the front end to really figure out what the issues are, or where the holes are, or where there needs to be some changes. And then we create the plan, and then we help the CEO and the team implement those changes, and we help guide them, right? So that word guiding, whereas it's not so much like, you have to do these things. We're there to say, here's our recommendation, and then try it. Let us know how it goes. And then we get feedback from them, and then we help them solve the problems as we go. And so it's this kind of ongoing process. And then, we're also there to kind of like call them on their shit, because if they get caught in old habits, which we've definitely had clients do, and we've had to call them on it, it's our job to call them out, like, hey, we talked about doing something different. What happened? And figuring out where the issue came from, what happened to cause them to go back into their old habits of, being a micromanager, or whatever, the issue is. So I think that's kind of where our services fall. I was thinking, unless you had something else to say about that, but
I do. I just wanted to throw in about the calling people and stuff. It sounds mean, but actually they thank us for it. And the whole idea there is just, it's one thing to start doing something a new way, and there's another for the time it takes for that to get ingrained as a habit. And when you're talking about not just the person changing their habit, but the people around them having to adjust to the new habit, or the team may be also working on their own habits, it just neurophysiology, it takes 60, 90 days for new things to become ingrained in less conscious thought and become the new habit. And so that's why having that coaching or oversight role once things are put in place is so important. It's to help them stick.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about when you can recognize when to hire one or the other, right? And so my initial thoughts the way that I think about it is the consultant to me needs to come on the front end. That's how we run our business, because what the consultant is the outside perspective, objective outsider who can take it all in, analyze it, and really drill down to what those issues are and provide recommended solutions, right? And then the coaching is what takes it and helps you implement it if you want that additional support, right? So to me, that's what it is. So if you're a business and you're making, six figures, or you're just on the edge of almost making six figures and you're ready to get to the next level, or you're trying to go for multiple six figures or wherever, if you're somewhere where you've hit a point, you've plateaued and you're trying to get to the next level, but you just don't know what's stopping you from getting there. Mm-hmm. To me, at that point, it's okay, stop. I need an outside perspective. And that to me is where the consultant comes in. And then the coach comes in to take you to that next level, and help you implement whatever those changes are. Because a consultant can come in, give you an objective analysis of what's happening in your business, talk to your team. Like that's something we do. When we go in and work with businesses, we interview the whole team, everyone, and figure out what's going on. We ask them questions, we figure out, and not just in the beginning, but we interview them at the end as well to figure out, okay, what did you expect? How's it going? Did we miss something? Because our job's not done unless that team and that CEO are feeling confident that we've helped them solve their problems. And so I think that
very
that point,
outcome driven, and we want to see our clients get the outcome that they came to us.
But it's that point of hitting a plateau and you're trying to get to the next level, but you can't figure out what it is that's going on. You just can't, you're just stuck because you're too knee deep in the shit. You really need that outside perspective of someone to come in and give you the objective analysis of what's happening.
Mm-hmm. It was just crossing my mind as you were talking, the analogy for me, having been a flight surgeon in the Army, it's like when you go and see the doctor is a consultant. They're doing the analysis, they're diagnosing, they're coming up with the plan, they're handing it to you, and then off you go to implement it when your visit is done, right? Go get your prescriptions, do whatever you need to do.
Or maybe get a health coach to help you maintain.
Well, I was going to say versus nurses, and this is more like in a hospital setting, but literally nursing is caring for someone through their illness, right? And from day to day or hour to hour, whatever it takes. And so here's the problem solver, plan maker, that's the consultant, and then there's the help you actually get through it to the other side, and that's the coach. And so Amelie, I just wanted to, something else I wanted to throw in here was not a monkey wrench, but another term that comes up on the coaching in the spectrum of things is mentors. So where do mentors come into play?
So I think, we actually offer a program that we consider mentorship. And where I think it's a little different is the mentor is problem solving, like on the job training. So how we run. Okay. So I guess hold on. Let's see if it,
we're having a technical, it just flashed. It's saying we're live though still.
Okay. Yeah, I was just checking the page to make sure that we were live.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we're good. So hopefully we're okay. Okay. Anyway, it looks like we're good. It says 14 minutes, so I guess we're good. Okay. So what we do is we give our clients who are in this program with us, we give them Voxer access to us, during our business hours, to message us about problems. We do have a call once a week with them where we, talk about things, teach them. So if they're in a situation and they're, maybe they're writing SOPs and they've not written an SOP before, right? Let's just say, for example, but one of them do. Well, we would teach them how to do that. We'd show them, give them examples, give them templates, and then show them what they need to do that. That would be something we do on the call. But the Voxer Access or on the job training kind of is being there to answer their questions. Like, okay, hey, the client asked for this. I'm not really sure how to deal with this. Or what should I put, I can't think of a really good example right now, but basically
Well,
it's like they're having a conflict, or, hey, I'm really having an issue trying to manage the team. I've put the tasks out, but they're not responding quickly or whatever. And then what we would do is provide them, hey, here's how I would deal with it. And then, have a discussion, and then they go off and do it and then come back to us and let us know how it goes. To me, that's more mentorship. That's like, follow along. Let's do this together. And yeah, that's how I feel like I would define it more. That's our Masterfully integrated program, is more of a mentorship versus, the coaching or the consulting.
Yeah, I was looking at, I would agree with that too. I was looking at it in terms, traditionally, because we live in this online space, right? And with entrepreneurs, we're mentoring more traditionally in the corporate world. It's more someone who is ahead of you in your actual professional path. So,
right.
Rather than that broader look or the problem solving, it serves more as a guide. We talked about, I just had a conversation recently with some people about this along the lines of, so when I first enlisted in the Air Force and went to my very first base, I was very blessed with our Chief Master Sergeant, the head enlisted person, would take every new airman when they arrived there, sit them down, and basically tell them how to become Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, which is the highest ranking enlisted person in the Air Force. And what he mapped out was, it's like, it's not just doing your job and doing it well. It's like, you need to volunteer for sports. You need to volunteer for on-base and off-base activities. You need to pursue your education. You need to, and he had a list for us. And he was like, and you don't need to do them all at once, but these are all the boxes you need to check during a year to set yourself apart. And then you also need to look for special duty assignments. You need to go to Washington, D.C. and this, that. And he literally laid out, this is how you become the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. And it just kind of blew my mind. I had never seen that before. And I've very rarely seen it since, where someone's taken that long view. And for me, it really opened my eyes, because 75% of what he laid out there, it's like, it's unwritten. It's the, you don't know what to ask things, and that's super important. And I think that's, a mentor can really help with that, that kind of long-term depth in your path.
Yeah. And not to say that coaches can't do what mentors do. I just think of it slightly differently, right? Because sure, coaches could be on call like we are, with our Masterfully integrated program. A coach could be in taking calls like that, or helping them problem solve. But I find it to be more like someone's over your shoulder, like looking at like what you're doing. And then when you need help, you look over their shoulder. So, and by shoulder, get on Zoom and I'll share my screen with you. Right. So like, that's something that we've done when one of the people in our program is looking for support. Either we'll be looking over their shoulder, or they're looking over our shoulder to help give them real life experience and say, okay, here's the issue we had and this is how we solved it, or this is what we did with it. Or we were trying to set this process up and this is how we do it. And we give them the specific example of how to do that,
Yeah, it's definitely way more personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that is pretty much.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. We
hope that you enjoyed this episode. And we will be back next week, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And we are, just to put a plug out there, although we have talked about our programs a lot today, but we are starting a series with our podcast, where we're actually breaking down all the steps of the business hierarchy of needs that we've discussed previously on a Masterfully integrated episode. And we're interviewing experts and that help us break down the specific needs and how to solve problems if you're stuck in that area of your business. So that will start not next week, but the following week. We're going to start that, and then we'll be pulling a topic from that every Friday for Masterfully Integrated for our show here. So we'll make sure we put the links to our podcast so you can check that out. And then obviously, if you want to check out the where we drill down into one specific topic from the podcast, we'll be doing that every Friday. So We will see you next week. If you watch the replay, give us a hashtag replay. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover on the show on Fridays, feel free to put those in the comments as well, or message us privately, and we will, we'll answer those questions. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.